saying there are some schools that have all the facilities.
Yes.
You can mention.
Yes.
And we know schools who do not even have electricity. And these schools are failing constantly. Everybody knows of it. And if you tell me that because these schools are failed and you are going to close down the schools, it means that it will not be fair to that school. Because the facilities, like, let's say, a school like Presec, a school like Opokuwari, facilities that they are having, even in terms of even the ratio of the students themselves, you know, students who get good grades are being sent to these kind of schools. Average students, above average students are being sent to these kind of schools. And look at these schools. Look at the students that have been sent there. So if you compare these schools with A school to these schools, and you are saying that these schools are failing, that there is 0 to 10%. So it means that we are going to close down the schools. That means that we are not being fair.
Okay. Okay.
So it's not equal.
Okay. Okay. Right.
Yeah.
So moving away slightly from this topic, the government has planned to introduce STEM education into some secondary schools that are science inclined, that offer science courses or that focus on science related courses. Do you think the introduction of STEM into some secondary schools, neglecting the others, is a step in the right direction?
Yeah, I can say that we can start from somewhere. We are not there yet. So such programs, we need to pilot it. That is why I think the minister has do some selection. I think it's right in the direction because we can't start with all schools in Ghana. So I think it's a right in the direction. So once they select that schools, they should make sure that facilities are there so that it will be pure STEM, unlike the circular senior high schools.
Right. We had a concern about the fact that people were agitating that you want to introduce STEM into some secondary schools. Meanwhile, the foundation of education, that is the basic schools, are still at deficit. A lot of them are still at deficit. They need infrastructure. And in fact, the curriculum that was implemented over 4 years, over some years back, have still not seen any maximum input. And so it is affecting teaching and learning at the basic schools, and the product that comes as a result of the BEC into these senior high schools. Once we continue like this, will it be the best? Are we there yet? Even though the government is about to pilot test it in some secondary schools. But in your view, do you think we are there as a country yet? Yes.
Yeah, I think that for STEM, we need to start teaching at the basic schools. Because that is the way we need to go. Well, if it's not science, technology, engineering, and mathematics, our country will not move forward. So despite the fact that there are challenges at the basic level, we can start with the STEM at some of the senior high schools to see the efficacy. But if it's done, it might be done very well. So yes, I understand there are challenges at the basic level, but we can't do away with the fact that because of these challenges, we will not start with the STEM. I don't think that while we do the STEM, then we address the challenges at the basic schools.
Right. So, please let me quickly ask this question. Do you think that would be possible whilst we implement the STEM? Because it also requires expansion into some of these senior high schools. It requires establishment of new structures. It requires inputs such as resources and others, laboratories. Yeah. Do you think we can blend the two at the same time?
That is why it is not all senior high schools, selected senior high schools. I'll be piloting the STEM. So while we do that, then we shouldn't neglect the business. If we do pilot the STEM in some selected senior high school and we neglect the business, then that means we are doomed. We are doomed. But if the intention is we have started piloting some schools for STEM and addressing all challenges at the basic, that is fine. But if we neglect the challenges at the basic level, then we are doomed.
Right. So, your last words, what would be your advice to the government on the closure of schools in relation to the introduction of STEM education in some secondary schools? What would be your advice and recommendation to the government?
Yeah, I would advise the minister to desist from such comments and then non-performing schools, they should introduce proper interventions that will help the schools to perform. In respect with the STEM, if it must be done very well. So once they have made the intention to put in place or to start with a STEM program in some of the senior high schools, it should be done perfectly.
Right, thank you very much, Dr. Daniel Opong, for your time and contribution on our show, sir. Thank you very much. Right. Yane Yera